Mocha Z and Kirsten G. Beautiful, strong queens, come and listen to 3. Peace and love comes naturally. Powerful, outspoken women listen happily.
He should go to sleep like that. That's how she put herself to sleep.
She probably wakes up to that. Like,
Listen,
it's the most saddest thing ever.
it is my part.
You know,
I feel like I need to be like this with the ear and the mic.
No.
and I support it.
You need to hold the one ear down.
Yeah, I need to be like.
I feel like you should not do that. I feel like no.
Let her be great.
I definitely support it.
I support all of your endeavors.
And the nonsense.
I feel like that is my part. When we ever do this live, that's the part I have, guys.
That's her part.
We're not gonna fight her.
We're not gonna fight her.
I'm not a fighter.
You gonna fight her over that?
I just got it.
That's my part.
It's not worth it. Man. It's not worth it. I'll hold your ear for you. How about that?
I'll just time you and be like, Keisha, you got 5 more.
You'll be like the choir director.
Keep
Hold that note. Hold that note.
You got 3
bring it home. You need a choir director for her own.
The whole choir director. I appreciate the support. These are the type of friends you need in your life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that back you up on your ooms. Okay. Greetings, salutations, hello, what's up? It is Pie Radio. We're live on Tuesday. Not quite 7, but we're here. Okay, that's what matters. All right, so glad you guys joined us. You know tonight's topic is poly relationships, so go ahead and get ready because I want to see the comments below. Join the conversation because I don't have any personal experience in it, but I got a lot to say about it. Hence, powerful, outspoken, women. So I got a lot to say about it, but I ain't got no personal experience with
She's
it.
outspoken today, really.
We see.
Yes.
Y'all don't see that?
Yeah.
You know,
I hear it and see it.
this is really the tired Keisha that can't really settle down yet.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
You like a kid that when they sleepy they do too much. You
Yeah.
gotta whoop them to sleep.
That's me.
You gotta pop them.
Yeah.
They need pop.
Somebody got to set me down.
Yeah.
Set
Somebody.
down.
You get one or two things. You get a snatch up and you get a pop. You might get a retro ride.
Somebody need to rush around and set me down.
Like you know you sleepy. Sit your butt down.
Right. Somewhere sit down. All right, listen, enough. Okay, enough. Y'all gonna have to ring me in a couple of times. Listen, what's been going on with Kirsten? We got story time with Kirsten because she couldn't tell us everything last week. So now we gotta get another story from her.
I know.
It's been so much. I don't even know which story to even tell.
See what I'm talking about?
Like so much. But I want to say probably recently I've really wanted to bond more or reconnect more with my parents, like on an adult level. Not necessarily, yes, I am your child, but learning me as an adult and really connecting more with them. And, I started with, my mom, and then my dad, surprisingly, was like awesome. So I just I don't know, feel like, once your parents raise you, then boom, you go to college, you're figuring it out. But then you kind of lose it a little. Well, for me, you kind of lose that relationship wise of you're still my parent. I respect you, but do you know me as the adult Kirsten?
Right.
And kind of getting onto that level. So that's something I've been doing still on. You guys know I've been on an Eat, Pray, Love for 10 years.
I was just about to say, as long as I've known you.
Yeah, since I've met these girls. I've always
been eating, praying, and loving.
Eat, pray, love. But my journey definitely is always ongoing. But that was something that was really important to me, a part of my self-care, what I started last year. So this was one of the steps I wanted to do.
So
and
what did you actually do? What was an actual step?
Change that connection?
Yeah.
I think it was really just kind of having to sit down with my mom and just really getting to know her also on an adult level, because I looked at my mom as she teaches me things of what to do, but I can also teach her things, what to do. So some of our conversations are a little bit more open now. So I could talk to her about more things than what I could have done, what I couldn't do when I was a child.
Right.
Or even my father, just kind of asking him more things of,
Right.
And I feel like I don't know if that's just me or
I'm
do we
interested.
lose the sense of this is my parent, and then you go to them, but I don't know where in life do you transition to where you're still my parents, but do you know me as the adult me, or are you still trying to talk to me as the younger kid who messed up? Obviously, I'm a kid. I'm messed up every day. I'm learning. Hell, I just messed up earlier today, but
that's what I said. Even as adults,
you're always learning. But I feel like this is another topic for us to go into later, to talk about those things of where do you feel like you can connect more with your parents? Do you feel like you can talk to them about any and everything? I feel like now I can talk to my mom about any and everything, and I'm getting there on the level of my
any and everything, but a lot of stuff. But I feel like I was able to, or I am able to talk to my mother more the more experiences I have, because I can relate to her in those ways.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, "Ma, like having kids. How did you do it with 5 and I got 2? I'm about to goddamn jump off the bridge." You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't understand that type of conversation before I had kids, because I wouldn't even think about having kids.
I'm interested to see, and you guys can comment below, because my upbringing was a different experience from both of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like my relationship with my parents has just kind of progressed as I got older. There was really, for me, no division. Like I never felt like y'all don't know who I am as the adult. Like it just kind of from high school to college. I had my moments in college, and then as I graduated and moved into the adult world, they were still included in my life. I still felt comfortable enough to talk to them. But it's interesting I want to know, like even hearing your story, like is that a dynamic because of how you were raised, where you really were raised by your mom, but your dad was still part of your life? And is that a dynamic for how you was raised when it was really
So it was some things that I just wasn't going to be privy to or able to talk to until I did get to a certain maturity level where she can talk to me. And as I started growing up and bumping my head and making the mistakes, then those lessons became. And then when I got out of my rebellious teen stage, then I can receive it now. Now we can have a conversation.
It's like that flashback where your parents say, "You're going to learn."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of finally realize
been there, but it's just how I've been able to receive it, through my years of growing up.
I will say this: there was a moment in my life where I realized, and maybe this is the same thing that you're kind of going through right now, but where I realized that the relationship was friends as opposed to mom.
Yeah,
friends as opposed to dad. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were always
that's kind of where I'm getting at right now, of just like establishing that another level of our relationship. And it's definitely has helped me through my growth of like understanding their perspective, or understanding why do I feel this way at this moment. And it could be that they didn't know these things. No parent knows anything. It's not a rule book. You don't know anything. Right. You just raise them in the best way you can.
Right.
That's it.
That's what I do know.
But now, as the product, me, now I'm finding my way in this world. It's certain things that, I want to know a little bit more so I can, maybe make better decisions. But I felt like I didn't have that door open because of I'm still in that child's place in their eyes. And it's like, hold on. Listen, I'm about to be 70 any day now. And
I wasn't going to let it ride.
The exaggeration.
The point is, I'm about, I'm at that stage now where it's like, come on. I'm not 18 years old anymore.
The more and more you guys are talking about it, I'm just kind of thinking in my head, like, how that transition happened. But I feel like, for me, the transition from being able to communicate with them as a friend and a parent happened when I got to the place where I was comfortable enough with me to talk to them about the things that they did that I didn't like, or that I didn't understand, or, that I didn't agree with, or, like, I know there was a time in college for me where I became very overwhelmed with what they wanted from me, what they expected from me, and to the point where Okay. To the point where I remember writing this long letter to my dad because we are so much alike in so many aspects. Like, I felt like every time I wanted to express myself and tell him how I felt, he would just jump in and tell me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't know.
Right.
But at that point, I was like 19 to 21. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still trying to be respectful of my elders, and I didn't know at the time how to address it and be respectful. But when I got to the point where I was comfortable with me and understood that there is a time and a place and I can still be expressive to them by telling them how I felt without having to write a long letter, was when I realized this is cool that I can also be a friend with my parents. Yeah.
Yeah, because right now, like for me, I tell my kids I'm friendly, but I'm not your friend.
Oh, I'm growing up, I heard that.
Yeah, right. Because you got to make these distinctions at certain age of your life.
Yeah. My mom used to say all the
these
time,
kids, they think they your equal.
I'm your friend, but I'm your mama first. That's what she used to tell me. I'm your friend, but I'm your mama first.
I'll be your friend when you get grown. I'm friendly right now.
But that's good.
Equal.
Yeah.
Because these kids think they get equal, and they think they can do what you do, say what you say.
But kids are different.
That. I know.
That's a whole nother topic. But they are different. Me and my sister was having that conversation the other day of how the exposure of young kids today is totally different from our exposure.
Yes.
And that's why they're so above the range. You know what I'm saying? Like their capability of even understanding and going through life is different because they are exposed to so much. But that's a whole different show.
Right.
Definitely. But that's what's going on with Kirsten. Is anybody else going through what I'm going through, or what was your steps, I guess, of transitioning to that next level with your parents? Comment below. I would love to hear it.
I would too.
But until then, got to get to my favorite part of the show of just these random facts. It literally is my favorite part of the show because I just don't. It's like I don't even know what you're about to say, and then I'm excited to share that information with everybody else.
She's excited to add on her part.
Yeah, and none of this is true.
I think we should do
this is literally absolutely news. This is news you cannot use. It is not true. Do not repeat it. Don't put it in a report. It's not true at all.
Don't put Kirsten's story in your. Because it's literally just Kirsten's story.
That's it.
Right.
That's
literally.
That's
literally.
On how to connect and knowing.
Yeah.
And I never really thought about it until you brought it up.
Yeah, because there's always something going on with Kirsten.
Always.
Always.
Okay. Ready for these random facts, y'all.
Okay.
Do you guys know what M&M stands for?
Mustard and mayonnaise.
No, but do you know they got something called mayo chup? It's so disgusting.
What is that?
Mayonnaise and
It's probably
ketchup
Michael
mixed together.
and Minnie.
No, it is
Melanin and more.
What does M&M stand for? I don't know what M&M stand for. Martin and Milton.
Malcolm and Martin. Okay, but M&M actually stands for the two creators of it, Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray.
I knew that. I did.
In 1949.
I mean, I forgot it, but
you had knew that?
I knew it.
You was hip to that
I believe you.
Yeah.
This is good for COVID season, okay? Lowe's,
Why is it a season?
Home Depot, y'all give me some credit here because watch what's about to happen. Copper doorknobs are self-disinfecting. Y'all
But you know, copper has always been a hot commodity anyway. People steal it. Like after air conditioning and stuff like that. They stole it from our church.
They self-disinfect.
She about to copper the hell out of her house.
The high affinity of cellular proteins for the metallic ions results in the death of the cells due to cumulative effects of the ion within the cells.
And it doesn't matter if it's indoor or outdoor.
Hey, get a knob, man. Go get a copper knob, okay? Copper.
Everything copper in my house.
Yeah.
I know. She about to upgrade. You gonna walk in kids' house and be like, girl, everything is so
Everything
bronzy
disinfects.
My house clearly disinfects itself.
But still wash your hands.
right?
Right.
And take off your shoes.
Right. Everything.
Yes. That is a rule. I don't know if that's like I mean,
What?
because you're coming from outside, so everything that you brought outside is now in someone's home.
I totally agree, and I truly intend to do that, but I be forgetting when I get home. I walk right in. By the time I remember, I'm in the bedroom.
I literally put my shoes at the door.
When I get at the door, I'm at the door.
I'll be like, damn. I truly intend to do
and
that.
I ask people, like, is it okay? Do you want me to take off my shoes? Because that's what I do in my house.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I mean, because there's so many dogs in my neighborhood, and you can just accidentally just squish, and then now it's all that dog stuff in my house that I just mop my floors.
You gonna accidentally squish, dude.
You accidentally squish that.
Well, I mean, you just.
But I'm with you on that. It does track the world into your house.
Yeah, it's already COVID. Now you got dog shit in your house. Like, that's right.
I know.
You got COVID and that in your house.
COVID and shit. It's not a.
I'm sorry, guys. I went really dark. I'm gonna bring you back. I'm bringing you back, guys. Just go back that way. Abort. Yeah, abort.
Disgusting. That was so
Come on, guys. But that is the reality. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to bring it up.
We should have left it at squish.
Yeah.
Even that was the squish. Even that was probably too much.
Right.
It was just an example. That was the first thing that came in my mind. Like on the belt line, and it's just a whole bunch of just dog. It's just somewhere, but for some strange reason, I keep seeing it, and I'm like, who do I report this to? Because they're not using the dog thing to pick up their stuff.
Oh yeah,
and the squish don't have a name.
The squish don't have a name.
Not next to it.
Sorry, guys. This conversation was not meant to talk about
went into
dog
the squish. All right, so the English word, most definitions.
I agree.
Yeah.
Set it off. Set up.
Set down.
Set down.
Could you give us a few definitions?
Remember when we was in college and people used to have sets at their house? Like a kickback set?
I used to love sets.
Listen, I agree with that random fact because that is true.
Set definitely.
Set your house, get your ride,
yep,
your curls, set that house. Girl, it's a lot of meetings for set. Yes, I agree.
Yep.
How many meetings does it have? Do you think about maybe?
It's just the most.
The most.
But listen,
you tell us in 19. Oh yeah.
You tell us how many meetings does set have?
I want to say it's roughly about 210. 210 meetings. Definitions of set. This is definitely how you can use the words. We set up the video screens over here. Ooh. We had to set the mics. I had to set the table.
I'm stopping that. I gotta. No, we're
not
going into the light. We're not going into the light with KG tonight. Okay. Somebody
I gave her the running shoes and she took off.
Somebody
the squishing off.
Question, because I can't think of it right now. But do you guys remember what the dot on the top of the I was?
Yes.
What was it?
It's
I forgot it. It's like right on the tip of
my
tongue.
Oh yes,
it is called something.
And because we were joking about going to say it. Make sure you put the. No,
it was like something that didn't go because it was like, make sure you put a dot on it.
Yeah. Okay, but there's a name for the dot on the top of the J as well.
Oh, for the accent, if you're gonna change the.
No, the dot, like a lowercase J and then there's
a
dot.
Girl, I went there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Bring me back.
It's known as a tittle.
Okay.
A tittle.
Tittle be with your lowercase J. Don't forget the tittle.
Don't forget the tittle.
The tittle was the I.
The
dot.
The dot.
When you do a lowercase J and you have to put that dot up there.
It's the tittle.
People don't forget about that dot. They left that tittle.
Most people don't. Most people stop using the tittle.
As an adult, you don't even use the tittle.
People don't even dot the I's though.
I don't even know if kids use the tittle.
Do they even cross T's anymore?
I don't know. Do they write?
They have to cross T. You
can't even write anymore.
You can't even. It can't be a T without the cross.
Do you know that they really can't write in cursive though?
Yeah,
but they don't teach that,
right? I know.
With my nephew, he's 13 now. But when he started elementary school, they weren't teaching cursive. So my oldest nephew taught him at home.
Yeah,
they stopped teaching cursive.
Azan learned it when he was in private school.
I still write in cursive.
Yeah, because you learn how to, but they don't teach that. They don't teach that.
You got to write in cursive.
You got to sign your name on something.
You just printing your name?
Look like
everywhere.
They write like they 3
years
old.
They doing e-signatures everywhere.
Oh, that's true.
They so technology savvy.
I don't need to write in cursive when I'm going to sign an e-doc.
Right.
Yeah. Stupid.
No, yeah.
So that's my random facts for the day.
Interesting. Yeah. Especially set. Now I'm thinking of all the words that we say with set. Because they all mean something different.
Yeah.
It's just like that, I don't know if it's a meme or a video where okay can have so many different, word meanings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a video. A girl did a video. She was like, the different ways people say okay means something different. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Set just happens to be the largest one.
Okay.
Flip it.
Okay.
Right. It means something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
She over here practicing.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. That was so tittle.
There she go, making up stuff.
Oh, Lord. There she go.
Making up stuff. All right, listen. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's get serious
about these poly relationships. So look, I teased this show like Saturday, Sunday, whatever day I posted it. But I was just like, I don't know personally how somebody could deal with 2 people. Like, to me, having a relationship with one person is far more headache sometimes than I would want to deal with 2 people. Like, I had 1,000 braids in my head, and I'm thinking, I'm frustrated with all these braids. Definitely, I would be frustrated with more than one person.
How did you correlate that together?
I don't know, but I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I can't.
I think, I don't know anybody personally, but some people that I follow or whatever, they're in those dynamics. Mm-hmm. And they gave me a different perspective of it because they don't look at marriage or being together like we do. This fantasy, all of this love, goo. They look at it as a business, as a corporation, and they all have positions and jobs and everything for the corporation. So of course they have the intimate stuff. I guess they figured that out too, but it's mostly that. It says all of them are on the same mental playing field in that. That's how it works. It doesn't bother them. Right, that's how it works. So I was I can see that. I could see it like that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't, just like anything else, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's my personal preference or not, to each of them. But it's just not for me. Like I was saying before the show, me and Dee were talking, and I was just saying, like, for me as an individual, I require attention. Right? And I want it when I want it.
Right.
And if I had to share that attention, even there's times when I don't want to be bothered and I don't need the attention, I want to know that I can get it whenever I want it. So if I'm sharing with somebody, then that means I might not be able to get it when I want it, because you over here doing your thing with this person, whether it's a business or intimacy or whatever it is, you occupied. And that's going to irritate me.
So poly definitely isn't
for you.
Not at all.
I mean, I don't see it as being any different from having a good relationship. If everybody's on the same playing field, then you can make it work.
Yeah, I agree with that. No, I agree with that.
I mean, if you got somebody with your mentality about it, and then these other 2, that's not gonna work in that poly relationship.
Exactly.
Everybody ain't on the same.
Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying.
So yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah, it's not for me.
I definitely I like looking at different things from a different perspective. So it's not going in and saying that it's a judgment type of thing. It's just like more of an understanding. So it's like, oh, girl, you better poly on.
Go on, get your poly on.
I'm with you on that. It's interesting enough to want to know about it and how they succeed in those type of relationships. So I'm definitely open to that type of.
I mean, I have a friend. She's definitely into it, and this is just me knowing from her experiences, and she's just like, well, I mean, it works for me. I don't want to commit to a one person. Like I'm okay with that. So in her world, she has found someone where it's like, it's okay that I'm with you. You know that I'm with this person or even someone else. Everyone just plays their roles, and that's what he or she is comfortable with.
Right.
So, I mean, I think just whatever works with you. I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, people have this long term, and I don't know if it's just like a fad or just a phase that maybe you just want to try something new, or it's something that's just like endless where you're just like, okay, you know what? I like this lifestyle. I'm going to do it. So
my opinion would be that a lot of people do it just because it's like a fad.
Yeah, I agree.
Thing. It's been talked about a lot. Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah.
I think another thing is attaches for whatever reason. Everybody always just diverts automatically to sex.
Yeah,
you know?
But it's more than that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I ain't got nothing to do with the sex. It's the
random people. But I
we
think
can think of it and go towards like royalty. Like they have it all the time where there's a lot of Prince where they have multiple wives.
Look at Janet
but
Jackson.
they are all treated the same way.
Business wise too, as far as the kings and queens. Everybody has their role to play. Like they
so
like
you
as
can
a
be
business.
like Janet, like she would like wife 28 or something like that. And she got her own little section, own little life and everything.
But I mean, if you're the type of individual that doesn't have to have companionship or attention or the things that relationships come with as a personal basis, then I feel like that may work for you because you have that when you want it. And if you don't want it, you don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But that's just, to me, that's not the definition of relationship. But to each his own. And I am...
They can have a relationship when he around.
Yeah, I'm curious as to how do they make that work on an emotional level, like how you explained it as a business and things like that. But how do you make that work on an emotional level with multiple partners? Like to me, I would be interested.
I think definitely it starts. It's probably respect. Got to be the thing.
Because
you got to respect your role,
heavy
place,
respect and heavy communication.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think that's in any relationship.
Yeah, but in my head, I just always feel like it's gonna be something.
Always.
It's always gonna be something. Yeah. I know I'm the second one, but look here.
Right. Because what about that one time when you want that? Listen, what I'm telling you. That one time that you want that attention and it ain't your day, or you ain't do whatever job you supposed to do, or that ain't your job to do. Like, man,
I used to watch this show.
I guess you just gotta hold your feelings in until Friday, because that's
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
I used to watch this show.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can't think of what it's called.
But we don't fully know all of it, because there could be like the aha answer where it's like, this is how it's supposed to go. So it's kind of hard to just say. I mean, I know we're just having a conversation, but it's kind of hard to just say what that person goes through.
I know, but I'm just speaking on like different things that I would think about if I was to ever.
If there's any poly people that are on live with us, answer some of these questions that we have. We're definitely curious and wanting to know more about this.
Curious.
I mean,
like, is there a setup where, because this is probably.
Do you want to know what the setup is like?
I want to know. So what you see on TV, like, I've seen movies and things, I read stories and different things about poly relationships, and you don't really know if that's the reality that people really live in. You know what I'm saying? So I really want I really want somebody that's in that situation to be able to say the different types of things that they really have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, because I assume that it's a relationship, so it comes with all of those relationship type things.
Right.
But to combine just a regular relationship between just one person and add multiple people, however many multiples you want to add, seems like that compounds the regular relationship dynamic that you would normally have. Like, is there a point in the relationship where if you say you have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but if on Tuesday I feel some kind of way and I really need to do this or that, can I squeeze in on Tuesday, or is that not going to be an option for me?
Communication is key.
Communication.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big factor.
Then will that hurt the person's feelings who gets Tuesday? Because,
probably.
Or will they truly understand because they're a woman, and, a lot of times women understand women way more.
Right. I don't know. I used to watch this show. I can't think of the name of it, but it was like a poly relationship. And I think there was three different wives, and they all lived.
I'm sorry, guys.
Is that me or you? They all lived like in a house next to each other, and their backyards were like connected. What you say, time for the wake up?
I can't.
It's morning time.
Who let the game
No. Yeah.
You know what? I almost think that. Do you think? Well, and I don't know this. This is not. I don't know this answer at all. So this is not coming at a way of disrespect. So I think. Well, in my head, I'm not sure. I feel like there has to be a dominant, and then in this, in order for it to work, because someone has to be
all the
able
ones that I've saw
to
release.
It's the first one that started the couple kind of situation, and then they bring on the other one. And
yeah, because
so
I'm like
the
I
first
don't know how
one
it would
knows
function
all the
without
rules
it.
and kind of puts the other ones on.
So I've seen that scenario when people do like threesomes or invite people into their relationship, and the wife or the husband have that dynamic where I get to choose this time or you get to choose it. And so they say what can happen and what can't happen when that other person comes in. But to have a full-fledged relationship where we either live together, where we're sharing everything every day, Jesus.
I would like to even go just a little hint deeper.
I'll go deeper. Because I'm already like, Lord.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably most people like me, when you first think of poly, you think of multiple women. But they have poly with multiple men.
That's true.
You know, I want to know from a man's perspective, how is that?
I feel like they okay.
You think it'll be cool with a man?
I feel like they'll be more comfortable than a woman. But then I don't know though, because some men don't like to share.
Men are territorial too.
Yeah, you're right.
They might not show it like we show it.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
But I feel like for some men, that would really pull out their true colors. Because you know how a lot of men feel like it's up, they don't care. You know, I can be with you. I can be with you. So I can be with anybody. It's good. I don't want to be in no committed relationship. Let's just see where.
So most men are already in a poly.
You know that.
So basically, all men are in poly.
What I'm saying is, they poly for now. But if it was really had to be a committed type of situation, would they truly be able to do that? If I really love you.
No.
And I really love you. Can I really say rare. Exactly? Can I really share you?
There are those, but I think that's rare.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Once a man get in his throat with it,
baby, when that heart starts beating a little, baby,
he is not trying to share.
He don't even want you to walk out the room wrong.
What? Not wrong. Okay.
What you doing? You stumping out? You stumping out here? No.
Where is you going?
What? Now? Where you going?
Real.
To the kitchen. Just to the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think for guys,
I just went to the kitchen.
Yeah, it's probably more girl poly than guy poly. I think.
Yeah. Which is.
But there's different religions that's all it is poly.
Yeah.
So it's just like you're technically born into to be submissive to a man who will have multiple wives.
Yeah.
And then
multiple wives doesn't mean that they are necessarily in a poly relationship. That means that I have different households that I take care of and support. But it's not necessarily looked at as a poly relationship. They have multiple relationships with different
separated.
With each of their wives. Might be what I'm thinking about when I say you got Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Because maybe in the household together as a relationship, it's not set up that way. Maybe that's not how it's.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too, but I don't know.
So how would you define those two different worlds then?
Poly, everybody live together, and other one is everybody has separate.
So you don't follow two wives and a husband?
So turn around. Poly, that. But I mean, what if you're on an upgraded level? You can still be poly, but everybody has their own house. Like, so I guess I don't know what the difference is.
What you mean when everybody has their own house? Like
I would think that's when I'm getting into like royalty, because like not all of these families are going to stay in the same house.
Right, but the man is.
He would spend his time.
The one who is supporting the family.
Correct.
Each of them. The wives know about each other,
exactly.
But they do not come together and mix within the relationship. They all have their each.
The multiple wives don't really hang out, but in a poly relationship, we cool. Is that what you said?
Like, did you cook Jim his meal today?
Right, girl, I'm coming up. We're gonna have.
He has leftovers from my house.
We're gonna sit tonight.
I'll bring him over.
Wait a minute.
Jim got on my nerves today, girl. You want? Let me get some wine out. Let's come on over here. I guess that's the poly part.
And we're definitely just trying to find out more information.
Okay, so I looked up the definition of what.
So yeah, we probably should start off with that first.
No, this is just open discussion.
Yeah.
We're just outspoken.
Okay.
I have a lot
we
of-
got to
I
get
told-
to the nitty gritty.
I told y'all I had a lot to say, even though I had never experienced it. It's just interesting.
I got somewhere. Within like the last year,
Press
I
play.
have entered, and I met
A poly
this guy.
online dating?
No,
Oh, sorry. Didn't specify that.
just
We need
regular
the facts.
online
Random
dating
online
to these
dating.
guys. And I met this guy, and he was different just from Jump Street because he was so open with his communication. Like his first message was, "Hey, beautiful," and then the next one was, "Look, I'm married. We in an open marriage. We have children together, but hey, my wife is into women too, so we may be inviting you into our dynamic." And even when we exchanged phone numbers, his wife had my number. We were cool. So it was different for me to know that she was so secure in her role in her relationship that she was still willing to invite me into their space. Because we even talked about if this did go, you know, if I wanted children, how would that affect them? She was like, well, I would want you to move in with us. So we can be one family. Let's take care of the household together. And I was like, I don't think I was really ready for that.
It was just a question.
I have a question.
Okay. Here for it.
Just what made you give them your number? Were you
She said from
interested?
the start. From
I was interested in him. I was.
Oh, okay.
I was. You don't meet a lot of people who can give you the same energy. Especially in this day and age, I'm very protective of who I allow in my space. And even just talking to him over the phone, he just made me feel so at peace. Like I had known him in another world.
Right.
So it was just like me meeting somebody I've known my entire life.
Yeah.
So it was different. Like the first time we talked on the phone, we was on the phone for like 4 hours, just talking all night. And
That's how I started.
that's exactly how it started,
This
right?
sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Okay.
That's how it started.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
like,
now,
y'all go together.
shit, I got converted. They done made her.
So then this is where it went real left real quick, but not in a bad way. So the following day we were on the phone and his wife came home and he was like, "Hey, baby." And she was like, "Hey, who you talking to?" He was like, "B." And I was like, what's going on? It completely caught me off guard. He was like, "But before I even called you, we had a whole conversation about you. That's just how open
You know
we
what?
are about
I
it."
feel
I had
like
a
that
similar
makes
situation.
women susceptible to those type of relationships because it's not often that you have that type of open, free communication from a male.
Mhm.
So when you get that, it feels different.
Without
it feels
the lies, without
yeah.
the games,
Without
the
you just
bullshit.
laying it all on the table, and I get the
Right.
option. I get to choose. I get to decide. That's a different aspect, and I think that's probably what makes it relate to women more. That's why when you think of poly, you think of women as opposed to men, because we don't get that type of communication from a man on a typical basis. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that makes women susceptible to that type of relationship. Not that everybody would fall into the trap, or if it's a trap or whatever, but I just feel like that will open the door to communication. Because I may have never thought I would do something like that, but then if somebody approached me and just laid out on the table, it would make me think.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
had a
saying? Like you
similar
gave me that
situation.
option.
I had somebody approach me on and all of that, but I was like, I didn't think nothing of it, but they were just like pressing me, and I was like, really? I was like, this is interesting. So I started talking with them, and they took me out on a date. They was like, yeah, we want to take you out and everything. Took me out on a date. We hung out. They were cool.
Y'all went
The
on
only
a
thing-
triple date?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the wife and the husband. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Keisha,
I thought
took me out on a date.
Right.
She needed to
I was gonna let that
understand,
go. You gotta start learning to let stuff go.
First of all, I started the show by telling y'all that I haven't had any sleep. I started the show by telling y'all that I hadn't had any sleep.
Yeah.
And then secondly, they could have took her out separately. The wife could have took her out, and then the husband could have took her out. Not together.
I think in that particular situation, though, both of them were great. They were cool. I just think that, from my perspective, they didn't have the whole plan set of what they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
Testing the water.
I feel like they both wanted to do this, or they did it,
And
before, but they did not talk
do it.
amongst themselves about what their rules were.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Before adding someone in, so you trying to make up the rules in the process, and I'm in the middle. No,
Is that how
I
the
can't
date
do
went?
that.
We gonna do this? Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We gonna do
No,
this.
the date was fine. I'm just saying, just throughout.
Oh.
Throughout the situation.
Okay.
But they both were great. Like, we had fun. I totally enjoyed them. I just felt like some of the things that were discussed or happening should have been discussed between them first. And then when I came in, then I would already,
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, yeah, I just was curious. I'll tell you what I was flattered. Because I'm like, oh, that's never happened to me. A couple is attracted to me. Like, oh, God, I ain't doing it like that. Right. Who knows? And then they happen to be real cool. So it was just like hanging with, just hanging out. Like, they happen to be real cool.
Are y'all still cool now, or you just let it go? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of let it go or
As
whatever.
far as that aspect, which y'all was
but we still cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do have one random, just that thought. Well, not thought. This is a true story. I did have a homegirl I knew or whatever. She actually married the people. She married the man and the wife. So she was a part of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does that work?
So
Legally?
I was so shocked by the first thing that she told me, that she married the people.
Right.
I really couldn't even go. I wanted to go into details, but it was just like, oh yeah, I got married. I married the man and his wife, and I'm like, is there a third line on the marriage certificate? Or like,
I just feel like at that point in the game, if you decide to do that, you really don't care about the
legality.
Yeah,
I just think that that's
you already decided with you.
But they all were together. So
why even go through the legalities if you don't?
And that was her world. It was just like kind of interesting. So I kind of just let her talk, because I was still confused. Like I was a lot younger. I'm like, it was just so many thoughts in my head. I'm like, you can't tell a kid, a young girl this. You're like,
I think you touched on something earlier about people being born into that type of relationship or religious reasons.
Yes.
Like we don't even realize that there are religions that practice.
They don't think that anything
poly relationships.
We're looking at it from a different world. We're from the outside, so they're like, well, this is normal. This is my normal life. I'm going to go marry my cousin, or I'm going to go marry.
No, ma'am.
Different
topic.
Different topic.
I'm going to go marry a person who will have multiple.
We're not married
wives.
cousins. Okay, stop.
Okay, you guys, that was
real left.
That was real left.
Oh God.
A joke.
All the way.
So look,
but the point is, you grow into this world of that's your normal life.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're on the outside, like, oh, okay.
Another
Are you
from a
looking
different
at it in the perspective of children who are born to
children who are born
families with multiple wives? Is that what you mean? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the same home. In the same home. So it's like, well, that's how I was looking.
Listen,
I was looking at it from that perspective.
Even if it's your
we're born into it, you don't think nothing is wrong with it because you haven't been taught a different way.
Okay.
Right, but it's something wrong with it if this has been your life and they started you out as a child. Okay, that's something wrong with that, religion or not. Okay, now if you get a little older and then you go ahead and do that, that's the one thing. But when they start these babies off at 12 and 13 or younger, marrying and pushing them into these poly,
that's a cult.
That's disgusting. And they do it, and they call it religion.
Mm-hmm. You know
what?
As we talk about religion, I'm curious to know, like, if and just vice versa, if you grew up Baptist, Jehovah's Witness, AME, whatever your religion was growing up, and as an adult, you realize that this is a type of relationship that fits you. How does that coincide with your religion? Like, do you put that by the wayside? Is that something that you have to think about before you join that type of, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
probably about the same way that any other quote unquote sin would be.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you process that?
I go clubbing all the time and they don't like it. Or, you know what I'm saying? I fornicate and they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gay and they don't like it. I'm poly. It's just probably the same way.
Thing. Yeah.
Because, you know, they judgmental, so they don't like nothing.
Maybe the world
is
judgmental.
Who is they? That's another topic.
Yeah.
They. Who are they?
Where are they?
I just like things from different perspectives. So it's whether I agree with it or don't agree with it. I just like, okay, cool. Thank you for educating me on this. Or
like, I feel like that's why we are.
Right.
I think this about all of you guys. Like, I feel like I'm very open-minded. And I'm not gonna say that I'm not judgmental, because I feel like we all are at different aspects of our lives and different times of the day, probably. But I'm not judgmental to the point where I can't let you exist doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't affect my choices. Basically, I get you. I understand where you're coming from, and I'm open-minded enough to want to know, to have a full understanding of your situation.
I would say you're opinionated, but not judgmental.
Okay, yeah.
I would go with that too, because you have a lot of opinions. You wake up with opinions.
Baby,
I think you become judgmental when you try to impose your opinion.
And sometimes you can be that way, but it's not a lot. It's more opinionated. It's more. It's like,
shot me in the heart.
It's like 80% opinionated and 20% judgmental. I broke the data down. It's 80% opinionated, 20% judgmental.
I need an example.
I told you
off camera.
She took off and she been running the whole show.
She said, it's okay. I'll take that because I'm not perfect.
Data.
So I'll take that. Yeah, she gives me the data.
Yes, buddy.
She doing a whole consultation on the show about what.
Well, first of all, you guys opened up was like, you know, I'm judgmental or I'm opinionated, so I just wanted to
the poly relationship and multiple wives.
I forgot.
I got sidetracked with my story.
Listen, then we're gonna go to the comments.
Okay, so poly is the practice of or desire for intimate relationships with more than one partner, with the informed consent of all partners involved.
So poly is sex. Well, not necessarily, but intimacy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you live with each other or not, though.
Consensual, ethical, and responsible non-monogamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think we're talking about pretty much the same thing, but it's just, it doesn't matter.
Without the license.
Yeah.
Without all the legalities of the situation.
Without the stamp, from the courthouse.
Yeah. It's just definitely a agreement. It's a defined agreement that, hey, this is who you are.
I wonder if they really do have written agreements. You think
that would be smart?
Have written agreements,
but I do know that another difference with the multiple wives is that the wives don't engage with each other sexually. So within a poly relationship, if there are multiple women within that dynamic, they all are involved together.
Oh, okay. So there is a difference. So polygamy is what we just described. Then there's polygyny, and that's when you have a man married to several women. So I guess the difference is just the stamp, the marriage.
But the women are not engaging with each other.
Polygamy, I guess, is
they are engaging with each other.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how it's
today's word of the day.
But
listen, this is how I feel. It's too
dynamic is the same, but not necessarily for the women who are involved.
Too many rules.
It's different. Or depending on if it's multiple men, maybe the woman has a different dynamic.
Polyandry, that's that. The woman has multiple husbands.
Okay.
We are getting poly-educated tonight, y'all.
Yes. Hope you're getting it.
This is an onion. The layers to this thing.
For real.
I'm just going to go on record and say there's too many rules.
It's too
what
many.
You mean it's too many rules?
I don't think it's too many. Respectful so that everyone knows their role.
because within the religion that you are in, that defines what polygamy relationship.
When you're choosing,
we are determining what works within our dynamic versus it being governed by religion. Different perspectives, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Now you don't say it's something right there.
I can't. Kirsten's shooting blanks all over this place. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the comment section. Because you said something right there.
Okay, listen, you guys got me looking all kinds of ways. I don't even know.
So I have a comment that says, for earlier when we were talking about multiple men being in a relationship with one woman, it could work depending on the men that are in a relationship. It could not work with two alphas.
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
At all. But it could work depending on the men who are agreeing to enter into the relationship. But an alpha can't.
Two alphas could not.
No.
Two alphas
I don't even know if they could be friends.
Oh my God, no, cannot.
It's too much happening.
It's too much of a battle.
Yeah, you need some type of balance in that relationship.
That's true. So, somebody asked a question because Keisha
Oh Lord.
said that it wasn't for her, but someone asked, "Would you be interested, Kirsten G?"
You, Keisha?
No,
No,
with Kirsten.
Wait.
No. Would you be interested in a poly relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you.
Come to real life.
Thank you. I'm
Whatever you like.
right? Thank you for, that question. I wasn't ready for the question, but unfortunately, I'm not interested in poly. So
That's it.
that's it. But I want to, hey,
Yeah.
I didn't ask. Not interested, but yes,
But
I respect it. Just not interested in it.
I'm interested in just having a good understanding of the different dynamics,
Yeah.
but not interested to be in one.
I'm having a hard time with just one person, so it's crazy. I have a communication with one person. Now I have communication with too many people. Too much.
It's
Too much.
worse.
Too much. Too many
I'm overwhelmed.
It's too much. Abort.
Abort.
So another one of our comments is, I think I would be open to it just to see what the dynamic would be like because I've never experienced it before, but I'm open to see what it could possibly bring.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
So
dope.
just getting more information.
I think a lot of people are being more open to it now too because they're
I
looking
feel like
at it
that's
from
just
a different.
it sounds good. Let me try it.
I think a lot of people are being open because there's so many. We have so many different titles now for everybody.
Mhm.
So it's just like everybody wants to identify with something. So we're
talking
so
about last week,
fluid.
he, she, and they.
And
Mm.
Or
so
whatever
it's
we-
like,
a couple weeks
yeah, I want to be this, but there's no rules to it. You can just
I think
be.
everybody lonely and they sick of it. You know what?
Yeah, especially.
If the both of y'all can make me happy, let's
Let's
rock.
with it,
Because I'm sitting here by my goddamn self
Yeah.
and this is miserable. I think that's what people
What
like.
do the lonely do for Christmas?
They
Start
like, what the
there.
heck? Let me give it a go.
Yeah.
If it don't work, at least I know. But I'm
Let me give
putting
it a
myself
go,
out there.
girls. Come on.
Yes.
Out of control.
I think everybody just wants to identify with something and be in something that they have a full understanding with and that they can communicate with their partners or partners about. So rather that be that you guys are poly or not, it's just whatever's comfortable in your relationship. I don't think it has to be defined as anything, but we just live in a world where everything has to be defined. There's a new thing come out every day. Like I can't keep up with any of it anymore.
And even just piggybacking off of that, some people just don't want to be defined as anything. Yeah. So they want to be open to do whatever they like. If I want to be with a girl, I can be with it. If I want to be with a guy, I can be. If I want to be with both of them at the same time, I want to be able to do that. So I just want to have that open, that free range to make a decision because I don't want to conform. I don't want to fit into, any one particular bubble. And that's okay.
Group thing.
That's okay. Yeah. However, you still have to be clear on that. That's the problem or the issue. I'm all for everybody to be whoever, however, whatever they want to be. Okay, whenever they want to be it. However, not everybody is open with that communication, to be clear and define. See, you don't always have to define in terms of labeling. But you do have to define in terms of providing clarity, especially when you're interacting with people and depending on what the situation is.
That goes all the way back to making sure you lay it all out on the table and let me choose. Let me have the option.
Right, exactly.
I agree. And with that, wait, do we have any more comments? Okay, so with that, Mocha says that while we are not participating in poly relationships, we're open to you guys participating in whatever you like. But make sure there's clarity. Make sure there's understanding. Make sure that the communication is clear before you jump into that, and don't feel forced to make it an option when it's really just something that you want to do or you don't want. And if you try it and you don't like it, just stop. All right, catch us next time on Power Radio. See you guys later. Thanks for joining.
Bye.